Sweep by Louise Grieg. Dav in a good mood is a very nice Dav. Dav in a bad mood is not, and Dav was in a bad mood. Not one of those tiny whirlwinds in a teacup that blow over before they have even begun. No, this mood swept over him in a raging storm and stuck. It began as something small, really small, hardly a thing at all. But before Dav knew it, the something had grown, gathered pace and swept him off down a path. Dav's bad mood thought this was a wonderful idea. But the things that got in Dav's way did not. Dav knew perfectly well when he had gone far enough, but he could not bring himself to say, "Okay, that will do." So on he stormed a bit further and a bit further still, until suddenly the whole thing became bigger than him. Of course, if Dav had looked up, he would have noticed the beautiful things, the things that always made his heart sing. But he refused to lift his eyes. The ground was a lot more interesting, or so his bad mood told him. Everything seemed against him, but that just made him even more determined. He dug in his heels and kept going. Just Dav and his bad mood. Is this really worth it? He asked himself. Yes, his bad mood decided, though Dav did wonder a little. Now his bad mood had swept through the whole town. The birds had stopped singing, the flowers had disappeared. This whole thing was affecting everyone and everything. Good, thought Dav's bad mood. But really, Dav was beginning to wish it had all blown over, like a whirlwind in a teacup. Everything grew dark, and Dav was getting tired and hungry. He was finding it harder and harder to keep this up. Surely he could not give up now, not when he'd gone to all this trouble. That would be crazy. But something had to change. And then something did change. A new wind whipped up. It began as something small, really small, that became bigger, bigger than Dav. Suddenly everything looked different. The world looked brighter. For a moment Dav felt rather silly. He'd really gone to all that effort for nothing. But at least it had cleared the air. It had even blown something his way, something that made him look up. It lifted his mood higher and higher up to the sky. Suddenly, he noticed beauty all around him. It swept him away. As for his bad mood, it vanished into thin air. Now, when it looks as if Dav might, just might, spiral into a bad mood and sweep down that path again, he thinks twice. His first thought is, will I? And his second thought is, or not.